morning and welcome to Rise and Thrive Breakfast Show right here on Camnet TV. You can also get us live on our Facebook page, Camnet TV, DSTV for now, and Topstar and also Go TV. So today in the studio we have quite some interesting issues we're going to be talking about today in the morning. And we apologize for starting the program this late. It was quite a bit tricky, you know. So in the studio with me, I have, of course, Mr. Mchima there, and we have a special guest from Gears Initiative, McDonald Jipenzi. Mr. Jipenzi, how are you?
Good, good. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. Thank you.
But how special?
It's nice to have this young man here.
But how special is he? I mean, in which ways is he special?
He's special in his own ways. Are you not special in your own ways?
I'm very special because I don't have any God scandal.
Look, how can you be special? For Christ's sake. You are wearing sneakers. You are wearing a kodro. You are wearing also a kodro. That was supposed to be used by game rangers. You are also wearing a red jersey, for Christ's sake. How can you be okay like this?
That is the speciality. When you are wearing the same things, how would you become special?
No, this is not special.
You are wearing red tie.
No.
Bruggy, what?
No.
What? Everything is...
Look. Yourself, I mean, you are wearing red, sky blue.
In fact, even you also, even you, there's a problem. You can't be wearing a newspaper.
That is the last person who could buy dress a newspaper.
That is tantamount to a newspaper.
I mean, it's called fashion, Mchima.
Is that a problem?
Fashion. You mean because there's fashion and code fashion. So you mean this is code fashion?
Yes. All right, thank you so much.
It's good to see you.
Thank you so much, my dear.
Thank you so much for being with us again here on Camnet TV. So today we have some interesting topics. We'll be looking at the arrest and quick release of the Minister of Health, who is charged with 4 counts of a possession of property reasonably suspected of being proceeds of crime. And we'll be talking about Bill number 10, which has been deferred to a later date. So, Mr. Jipenzi, which one would you love to start with?
Well, we can start with the arrest of Chitalo Chilufya, doctor. Yeah, then we move in that angle.
Okay, Mr. Mchima, would you like to...
Yeah, sure. It's just a question of really... here it is. This is somebody that every now and then we keep hearing stories about him being corrupt.
Correct.
This is the first time. He's not a newcomer, or neither is he new at the ACC. But the man keeps moving high with his head high. But particularly, you're coming from an arrest. Straight away, you're in Parliament.
And answering questions.
How does that...
Well, I mean, it's really giving a very wrong impression on the fight against corruption in this country. We expected that the president should have acted and also be seen to be acting. At that point, we expected maybe somebody else would have acted on behalf of Dr. Chilufya, because he's coming from, it's like a pastor. You have been caught with in a adulterous arrangement in someone's home with someone's wife, and then you still want to be at the pulpit to start preaching. Surely you must have social shame.
But sometimes, do you think that the appointing authority is not doing much? Or should it be just your inner self to say, look, I'm going through this, why can't I also just ask for permission to stay aside and then...
Yeah, of course, there are 2 things there. One, it's your own conviction. If you feel that what has been done to me or this allegation is very grave on me, then you can step aside. You can go on leave. You can ask the appointing authority to say, please, may I go on leave so that I concentrate on this matter.
Right.
The other thing is that if you don't have social shame, you don't feel ashamed whether you have been caught in adulterous arrangement, whether you have been arrested for corruption, you don't mind yourself, you don't have social shame, then the appointing authority, if that appointing authority has got social shame, he or she must, she must allow you to go and leave. force you to go and leave. Amana, for now, go and rest while you battle out this issue of arrest. The other thing is that you fire that person. In Zimbabwe, for example, the Minister of Health was also caught in a similar situation, although him was an issue of COVID-19 funds, all right? Was arrested, and the president relieved that man of his duties. We expect the same thing to our I mean, where is integrity in public office? If I am arrested on 4 counts of corruption, even if it's politics, 4 counts
even
of
just
corruption.
1 count.
Yes. I mean, we got someone say just 1, it's just politics. But now we are talking of 4. And those are property suspected of being proceeds of crime. How much money are ministers getting for them to own lodges all over the country? How much money?
Well, they say, I mean, Shakonkom follow. Probably.
So, this is what we...
They are following someone else.
Perhaps, but the issue is that he has been arrested, formally arrested. It's no longer now an issue of rumors. He has been officially arrested. He must give way, to his court cases. That's what we need. Because the moment he'll be standing in front of me, talking about COVID-19, me Nzakarako na Suleko, Akamba Vichani, after all, is corrupt.
Anaba. He's a thief, actually. That's
so he's basically putting off people who are supposed to listen to him. Yesterday, when I heard him on Parliament Radio, answering questions, I was shocked. I said, some people don't have social shame. So even us now will not be resigning. Even if mani peza mchigororo, I will still go to church.
But there's one thing,
because if ministers can behave the way they are behaving, why should you?
Church is different.
But there's one thing I'm wondering about.
Caught red-handed.
But there's one thing I'm wondering about this man. He keeps talking about Chigororo throughout. I don't know whether that's the only example he knows or he's talking from experience. Which one is
Perhaps
which?
It's from experience.
You see, Chigororo is a common sin which was left by Jesus Christ. Okay? He found it and he left it. And perhaps he will find it when he comes back.
Just give me just give me one example which who during Jesus' time was found in Chigororo.
You talk about David. He was found in Chigororo with someone's wife.
So you're proud of that?
He was the man after the heart of God. That's what the Bible says. David. So now, but he was able to be remorseful. He cried before God.
No, but
God, forgive me.
But my concern is why you keep referring to
because corruption is worse than Chigororo. Corruption has killed many people in this country. Corruption has made many young people not to go to school. Corruption has made young people not to be employed. Because you have to corrupt somebody in order to get employed. And this corruption has made other people very rich and cantankerous from corruption. So we cannot be so proud. And that's why someone was moving a motion in Parliament to say, let this corruption be a non-bearable offense. 2, let it be a death penalty. So that whoever is convicted of corruption must be sentenced to death. Now, our argument in Parliament when we were called to scrutinize this motion was that, look, in Ghana, for example, when Jerry Rawlings came into power, he had a firing squad for all corrupt leaders. Has corruption in Ghana ended? The answer is no. It is still there. So it is not about having harsh punishment. It is about behavioral change. It's about attitude change. So our leaders, our society wants to be rich. So the issue of Taluchi Russia, for example, he was even released 2 minutes after being arrested. He was on bond, police bond. Yes, we have Tukuta, that young man, who has been arrested for criminal libel and has been denied bond. Which is more critical and more harsh? Corruption and the criminal libel. Which one? Corruption, and this is a minister, not a mayor, not Karen, who is just running around.
Please.
What a great example.
Can you use another example, please?
This is for a minister.
Please spare me.
A
What a
minister
good example.
who is even handling donations, COVID-19 donations. And as I speak now, I've been receiving calls. Please speak on our behalf. Since we started in March, some of the frontline workers have not been paid their dues. Where is the donated money? And then the commander in that donated money, who is Dr. Chitaru, has been arrested of corruption. So where would you suspect the money has gone? It's gone to build these lodges. That's what we suspect. Why should people who have been working, sacrificing for their lives, endangering their families from COVID, up to now, 3 months, 4 months down the road, they have not been paid their money. And yet millions of kwacha, millions of dollars have been donated. Even masks we are talking about, masks from those donated have not even reached some schools, some public places. Where has it gone? Those are the issues that people should ask. And if the appointing authority is not aware, he must be able to say, my minister has been arrested. It's a good gesture that he has allowed the arrest of him while he's serving, which is good. But he should go further to have this man be thrown out of ministerial position.
Yeah, but now...
And because of butane, perhaps, which has been deferred, the minister has even the guts to go in parliament after being arrested. The minister has been, has to be bonded so that he's in parliament and vote on butane. That is wrong. Let the wheels of justice be allowed to move and catch those who are corrupt. And Chitaru Chirufya being arrested for corruption, he must step aside. He must go and leave if he doesn't want to step aside. If he refuses, if I was president by today, Chirufya would have been a mayor MP.
Yeah, but that is Chirufya. We also had Ronald Chitotela.
Yes.
Corruption allegations every now and then.
Yeah.
But nothing. People are slowly saying these are just academic arrests. There's literally nothing at all. People are not even moved to say something will come out.
Correct. And you can reach that point of saying this is an academic thing. You reach a point where you don't believe and trust the appointing authority. Because you look, Makaran and Constance, the issue is that the first cut is the deepest. That's what they say. Now, when we see our president not acting on corrupt ministers, allowing them to use their own discretion whether to leave or to continue because they are hardworking, he doesn't know that behind that hardworking, that's where evil is, where the devil resides. These people pretend to be hardworking. Already now there is also Chitotela, not Chitotela, Bowman Lusam, who has been reported to the Anti-Corruption Commission. And the Anti-Corruption Commission are saying they are investigating. Where is getting these huge sums of money giving out? All right? But it's a person who claims to be hardworking. So the president will say, no, how do I fire someone who is
hardworking? So he's not hardworking.
It could be not hardworking. It's just pretending to cover up.
Okay, perhaps
his maladministration.
Yes, so what would you go for if it were you? You get a minister who is hardworking but corrupt, or the one who's not hardworking but isn't corrupt?
It's better I have a non-hardworking person who is not corrupt. Because this person, if he really wants to serve in my cabinet, and I'm a hard worker myself, he must follow suit. But not corrupt. But you cannot have a corrupt individual pretending to be hardworking, because it's like someone who is, is hardworking but busy stealing in your own yard.
I thought you were going to say that he's hardworking and subtracting from the same hard work.
Exactly that. Guy is stealing. When you are getting,
what do you mean pretending to be hardworking?
You have a farm. You have farm workers, very hardworking farm workers. You harvest 5 bags of maize, for example. like the Mwinilunga guys do. Because
Please,
the whole farm.
Mr. Chipens, I've warned you. Mr. Chipens, I've warned you. Can you please talk about where you come from? Don't talk about other people's places.
So 5 bags. And then after 5 bags, the farm work has stolen 3. Has it not brought you back? Subtracted from hard work. Because now, out of 5, you are remaining with 2, which you only survive, and this is the way these people eat. They eat like okonko. 5 calabashes of shima. 1 person alone.
I can testify. I've seen it.
That's what you are saying is tantamount to criminal libel now, because you are using this platform to slander others. No, this is that's not the way we brought you here for. We never brought you to start slandering against.
Yeah, so that's the issue. So what we are saying is that basically the president should be able to see that, okay, my ministers are not doing the right thing. And if it's possible, correct them so that they do this propensity to be rich is what has brought this corruption at its highest level. Because no one wants to be driving a Corona or a Corolla or whatever. Everyone wants this VX, what. And look at the fuel that they need. You cannot drive that VX from here to Mansa and come back without spending almost 4,000 kwacha on fuel alone. So the minister
You're
wants
talking
to
of 4,000 kwacha. What is that?
Yeah.
That is us from here to Kapirimpocha.
Yeah. So because of that, people want to have money all the time to service their cars. All right? So we don't want that kind of, because the poor people right now, the youths, we are demonstrating. What are they looking for? They were promised 500,000 jobs in the National Youth Police. Up to now, government has not accounted for those jobs.
All right, Mr. Chipenzi, I think we've done justice to this particular one. Let's allow people to continue digesting about this particular story. And of course, we'll continue discussing it also on the sidelines. Now, Mr. Chipenzi has just spoken about youths who protested due to lack of jobs and opportunities out there. Surprisingly, I was shocked that yesterday, when some youths met Information Broadcasting Services Minister Honorable Doris Lee at her office, they just blatantly told her that this country, things are not okay. Let's go to this clip, then we'll be discussing the concerns of the youths. That's to do with Dora and youths. So let's quickly go to Dora and youths, then we see what transpired at the office where the youth leaders met up with Information Broadcasting Services Minister.
You are required to pay something for someone to push for you for a job.
Corruption.
Yes, corruption is too much. Yes, I think they should break on corruption, and there should be transparency when jobs are advertised. Because even for you, if you apply, if you're a teacher by career, and then you apply, you'll be told to pay something for someone to push you to get a job. You don't have a job, and then they're asking for money from you. Why are you going to get that money? Because you're looking for a job.
Let me ask you another question. Do they even ask for sex sometimes?
Yes, they do ask for sex, and for us, we are very vulnerable to that aspect.
We need a platform on where we can share our successes and our failures as well, because there are so many people who are doing great things, but they have nowhere to show it. And once the platform is created, I believe that's when things can start happening. We can have opportunities to find funders for the projects that we're doing. So this is my biggest appeal. And
country is dead now. People are not going to enroll for skills because one, people think if you do carpentry, you're a dull person. You've never been to school. So I'd love governments to empower youth that take up skills like mine. Give us projects. Don't give us loans. All we need are the projects. Through those projects, then we can develop. Yes.
And let me tell you one thing. Don't be ashamed to want to be rich in Zambia, in your own country. Don't be ashamed to want to be rich in your own country. And this is why the discourse now is about we want business for Zambians, not 5%, not 20%, but 100%. With our skills development, we all use chairs in this country. We all use tables in this country. We all use doors in this country. So how can carpentry be a dying skill? Clearly, government must do.
All right, that's Honorable Doris Leah in the presence of her Permanent Secretary Amos Malupenga and some youths, just telling her off that, you see, there's too much corruption in this country. Exactly the same thing that we are talking about.
Correct,
now,
correct.
One interesting thing, Mr. Chipenzi, for me, which I get from this is that, look, it seems government has been awakened by these so-called protesters, but here is the president. He directs that, directing all government departments, government ministries to ensure that they incorporate the youths in programs. They should find means and ways and solutions in how we are going to find solutions for the youths. We saw Honorable Doris Leah, Gender Minister Elizabeth Piri, Kampamba Mulenga Chewe. We saw Doris Leah herself and my brother Mulenga, who is the Minister of Sports, Youth and Child Development. They had a caucus on how they are going to help. But the enthusiasm after these protests, could it be that what the youths have been championing for has really gotten into people's ears?
Of course, I think the message has been heard. The message has been listened to. What is lacking is action. As I'm speaking now, I received a call from the Copper Belt that youths who have been trained as teachers, close to 28,000 young people trained as teachers, have even started forming or are trying to form a union called Unemployed Trained Teachers. To agitate for employment in the teaching service. Like those youths have stated, I've also received the information that for you to be employed as a teacher, for example, at primary school level, you have to pay 7,000 kwacha.
Where do you get that money?
To some people who are employing you. If you want to go to secondary school, you need to pay 15,000 kwacha.
But the question is, you're looking for a job, and where do you get the 15,000?
That's the issue. So I remember of one lady who even complained that sometimes they pay, but no job comes on their way. Now, we have investigative wings of this country, and I believe they know this information very, very well. Why can't those chaps be arrested for extorting money from a poor unemployed teacher? An employed person looking for a job, you still want money from this person. And what has happened, only those with money have managed to get. Only those who are able to give sex, they have also managed to get jobs. Only those who are connected, they have managed to get jobs in the public service. That must not be allowed. The rest of the youths, like I said, in the teaching fraternity, close to 28,000. You remember was it 2 or 3 years ago, when the government advertised the 3,000 vacancies?
Right.
How many people applied to be teachers? 27,000. Okay? So when they got the 3, it remains 24,000 unemployed. And from that time to date, government has not recruited any other teachers except those who are recruited through connections. Now, what type of a country? Now these are only teachers. Talk about nurses. Yesterday I was receiving a call from Siavong.
But how come you're the only one receiving phone calls?
Because I'm an advocate. I'm an advocate, and they think whatever the problems they have.
So they trust you so much that when
they trust me like they don't trust you because you have a problem. they trust me because they know that what they have told me, it will see the light of day. I will speak it. And this is why
you have got an access to the media.
Yes, you have access, but God will God in room, but you have access to.
All right, Mr. Chipenzi, just one quick question. So we've seen so much reaction from the youths, perhaps which has also prompted the president to direct ministers to do something, and also the meeting that was held yesterday by the Minister of Information. So do you think ministers should wait for a directive from the president, or perhaps government should wait for people to react and start protesting? That's when they can now start talking and, you know, trying to do some action from here and there. What do you think should be the right procedure?
Well, first and foremost, it is not right for ministers to react because they have been directed. Each ministry has got a vision and a mission statement. Okay? So what do they want? For example, Ministry of Youth, Sports and Youth and Child Development. Is it still child development, or child development has gone to gender? Minister of Youth and whatever. Sports and Youth. What is their vision? The vision is to uplift the lives of the young people. All right? Now, do you have to wait for the president to tell you that the youth are protesting? Go and resolve that issue. No. Like I said, there is a national youth, what is that? Youth plan. Policy, exactly. Policy that indicates that 500,000 jobs for the young people will be created. Not knowing where these jobs will be, whether it's on the roads, whether it's in the farms, whether it's in the teaching service, we don't know. But the fact that this document, national document, is lying idle, whether at State House or at the Ministry of Youth and Sports, we
Mr.
don't
Chipenzi, you can hold on. We are being told that there's a caller on the line. So let's get interactive also. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Very well, thank you. And you? Tell us your name and where you're calling us from.
This is the youth, the voice of the voiceless, calling from Lusaka.
Yes, you can go ahead.
Yes. You know, first of all, I'd like to give thanks to the man. I don't know the name of Mr.
Chipenzi.
Mr.
Chipenzi from the Gwembe Valley.
You're right, Mr. Chipenzi. Thank you very much, sir. You know, you have not articulated the issues which are affecting us youth. You know, there is no way the government can be employing 3,000, and yet there are more than 25,000 teachers who are roaming in the streets.
Correct.
Which is not okay. And one of the teachers who graduated in 2016 up to now have not been deployed.
Correct.
But they are busy buying things, for instance, the fire trucks. Instead of turning that money to education sector or agriculture sector, that's what we are finding, that youth are moving into different things like being cut down. It's because we are not in independence. And I think it continue working out so that the government can hear our cries. We have suffered.
Thank
So
you.
they don't protest the government, they will arrest us. Why are they arresting us? Let them hear our views. Remember, it's us who are voting. The 2021 is coming. Thank you very much, sir.
All right, thank you so much for coming through, Constance.
Yes. You were saying?
Yes, I think let me pick it from there. The money that government is using to buy armored cars to quench youth voices would have gone to create jobs for the youth. If we call ourselves a peaceful country, why are we buying machine guns? Why are we buying armored cars?
No, but on that one, I can tell you that do you have to prepare yourself just because you have some kind of an incident?
No.
But that's in preparation for an eventuality in case.
Which eventuality?
In case
you buy the one who's supposed to be armed to the teeth is the one who is protecting your territorial integrity, and that is the army, the air force. But the police can, you know, if you have been to Liberia, where real service, police service
maybe, Mr. Chipenzi, maybe, because
it's
if
not where you have armed
we've
forces.
noticed of late that we are more in contact with the police as we are in contact with the army, and most of the things regarding the army, they are done more in the background as
exactly
because the police are more directly involved with the public.
What I'm telling you that Zambia police is not a force. Zambia police is a service. I was privileged to stay in Liberia for 1 month, and it was during election time, where Zambia police service is whereas Liberian police service is truly a service. When they are even manning a rally, you won't see a gun. You won't see a gun. No. You will see just these buttons. What you call them, buttons, whatever. Those are the only thing they use. And they will never use those things. The people in Liberia, for example, I was in 4 states, Lofa, County, and the other 3. When you are there, people even say, if there's any crime, they will run to the police and report. And the police will quickly move in to service the community. Not here. When it
Constance,
is crime,
there's a phone call coming through.
when it's a crime, you say there's no fuel.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, you are through to the Camnet Breakfast, Rise and Thrive. Tell us your names and where you're calling us from.
You are talking to Brother Moka Osaka.
Go ahead.
You know, the problem we have in this country, when Sata was the president,
Brother Morgan, you greet people before you go into talking.
It's his democratic right.
when the value,
Yeah, but don't worry, you are protected. You have the right to greet us or not. So that's your right. Go ahead.
All right. You know, in when Sata was the president, he was telling the minister, you want me to tell you what you're supposed to do? So he was even giving an example when he was a minister. When he was a minister for health, he was going to supervise how nurses are treating patients. When he was a minister of labor, he was going around into industry to see how the workers are working. When he was a minister of local government, he was in where the overall all the street, all down the street in the gateway, back. So it's how a minister is supposed to do, not to wait for the directions. Then the other issue that we have seen injustice in this country, especially this patriotic government. Why I'm saying this? You see what happened last those the councillors who was resigned, Western and the Jerusalem. Remember they were campaigning and others to campaign and now there's a COVID. So, and the other issue also, the youth to demonstrate. Remember, they demonstrated with their cadres. These have to be proved to demonstrate that now there's a COVID. So you see what it is. So for us what we want is the justice to preserve our country.
Right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. My brother, I need some tea for Mr. Chipenzi. Someone to make me some tea. You don't want to come and get the cup? Just come through and get the cup. You're scared of... Come and get the cup. You want to pass there? You don't want people to see you? Yes. But why are you hiding? Just come and get the cup. Make this man some tea. If you have something, you can also bring it for him. I know in the Gwembe Valley there are no such things. Such pains, by the time you be leaving this age, you should be fat. If you're not going to be fat, we shall find means and ways of making you fat.
That's the problem with Minunga science. You think you get fat the same day.
If you're just joining us, you're watching the live broadcast of the Rise and Thrive Breakfast Show right here on Camnet Television. The 5 days countdown continues. It's just telling you that we shall no longer be on DSTV and GoTV because Mount Choice is removing the station from those 2 platforms. Reasons are that Camnet is not watched in Zambia. That's the major reason. So it's become a liability to them to manage maintaining the station on their platforms. And of course, today we are discussing a whole range of other national issues. And our guest in the studio is Executive Director for Gears, Mr. McDonald Chipenzi. Now, we've touched on the issue of the Minister of Health being arrested. We've also touched on the complaints and cries by the youths, among other issues. You can also call us and participate on this program. But for now, quickly, let's go into the other important national issue, Mr. Chipenzi. Now, this morning, the government chief whip maintains that Bill 10 is still on the floor of the House legally. On the other hand, we've heard leader of the opposition, Jack Mwimbu, who is also Monza Central Member of Parliament, who is also the legal counsel for the UPND chairman, if I may put it that way, and others are saying this is a dead bill. It died on the 4th of June 2020 after being introduced on the floor of the House on the 4th of December 2019. So meaning the lifespan of a bill is only 6 months, and it has elapsed and died, and there's no way that this bill can continue being on the floor of the House. But before you come into this discussion, let's just play Jack Mwimbu, then we can pick it up from there. Let's just hear what he had to say.
Our constituencies like Mwembeshi, Nangoma, Mlobezi, and Naroro, yes, that the people have rejected this bill. And we are sent by the people. And therefore we speak of the people, those who sent us, that this has been rejected. And we want to thank the UPND for partnering with us. In making sure that this bill does not see the light of the day. And I was joking this morning with one of the colleagues that this thing is a stillborn. They say that akapopo in Bemba, Maleta akapopo, you go and bury it. So brought in dead. So this bill, whether it is brought at night 24 hours, we shall make sure that it is buried. Whether it is brought at 01, it will be buried. We want to assure the nation, the Catholic bishops who are standing with us, we want to assure the youths who are marching in the bush that we are actually happy in giving us support, and any other well-meaning Zambians who have said no to this bill, that we shall stand with you and we shall make sure that this bill does fall.
We are aware of the demands the people of Zambia have been making pertaining to Bill 10. We are aware of the position of the three church mother bodies who have resolved to stand on behalf of the people, despite the various threats that have been made against them. Members of the public, please note that the so-called Bill 10 died and was buried on the 4th of June 2020. There is an unmarked grave at Chingwere. There is no such bill anymore. Whatever Parliament and the PF through the Minister of Justice doing at the moment is illegal. And as UPND and our fellow independents, we are not going to be part of the illegality to debate a bill that has lapsed.
So thanks so much for still staying with us, and of course this is the Rise and Thrive Breakfast Show. Now I was just telling you that we have 5 more days to go before Malchus removes us from GoTV and Malchus. But what you can do also is that look out for what we've lined up in store for you, the switch and watch. What that simply means is that we are devising more mechanisms on how you are going to continue watching Camnet TV. So what you can do is just go on the Camnet Facebook page and you'll see what you're supposed to do. So you know technology is evolving. We cannot remain in one particular area or confine yourself to one way of doing things. We've got e-commerce now, we've got e-learning now. Even during the COVID-19, children were still learning from their homes. Television is now on your mobile phone. This thing, you can do literally anything. You are all in your home and you are watching news. So at the end of the day, you don't need a bigger screen, because even cameras, We used to move with, you need to have a big camera and you are carrying it on your shoulders like a 50 kg going in the field. But now I can just, even just my phone,
Yeah, you can.
I can run the whole entire news bulletin just filming using my phone. So if you are removed from one platform, that does not mean that's the end of
The world.
the world or anything for you. You will still continue watching the programs efficiently in any case. By the way, let me also make it clear that, you see, we used to have PTC or Zampost. We used to go there to make phone calls and you know
Dialing.
the dialing ones. But now, since when did you see a dialing phone? Secondly, we used to have a situation.
Tokens.
Yes, we used to have a situation where you needed to go and write like children like Constance. Sorry, madam, may you forgive me. when you were young, let me say, when you were young then.
It's good you have concluded with apologizing.
No, I know you are protected by your brother, so you are two there and I'm just alone.
Arrested.
So you know you write a letter and you go all the way to the post office to drop a letter. But now, I mean, just an SMS on your phone and you're talking to somebody in Washington.
So basically, Mr. Mtima, what you are trying to communicate is that our viewers shouldn't feel bad that we are being taken off DSTV.
Right.
I mean, they could still catch us on Facebook. It's still the same Camnet TV.
It's still some content.
So why should you feel bad? I mean, just buy some bundles and you see us.
That's exactly what you are saying. But Mr. Chipens, before we get into butane, I mean, look, it's now a society where in time, people can just wake up and say, you are out, you are out.
Yeah, of course, this is one thing that maybe was not foreseen when we went digital and when we said, oh, one son should host and so on and so forth. This can also be used for politics. It can be used for politics. And you saw what happened to Prime TV.
Yes.
It was put off the top star. Because the government was not agreeable with what they were doing. So these are also political issues that you are likely to face. And also are governance issues. Because now society has become so alien to divergent views, to alternative voice. So they would not allow somebody who is giving an alternative voice to them to continue giving that platform, especially to those who have alternative view to be given a platform. They know they want to monopolize. We are basically going back to the 1970s and so on and so forth, where there was only one channel or two, ZNBC channel 1, 2, 3, and so on. So people like when Nkumbula, people like when Simon Mansakapwepwe, who rebelled against the UNIP, we are not given this chance to talk.
Yes.
Okay?
But they still found a way to talk,
of course. But now, that time it was even more restrictive. This time is even better because even if you are not appearing on any of those channels, you can still use WhatsApp and communicate your message.
All right.
You can use your whatever and
Hold
so
your
on
thoughts.
and so
There's a phone call on the line.
Good morning.
Hello?
Good morning.
Hello?
Good morning. Can you hear?
Yes, I'm still here. Good morning.
Fine, thank you.
You sound like you're still in bed. Wake up, rise and thrive. Good morning.
Morning, how are you?
Very well, thank you. That's much better.
It still sounds the same.
Yeah.
Yes, go ahead with your contribution.
This is Mupare from Karumbila.
Yes, sir. Go ahead with your contribution.
Yes, how are you, Mr. Karan?
No, me, I'm good. How are you, my brother?
Yeah, how are you, Mr. Spezi and the lady there?
I'm good, except
Fine,
that
thank
this
you.
man I'm seated next to from Winilunga has got Masham.
Which masham? This man is eating our...
Going back from the first statement, the first topic where the health minister and whatever and the education of the corruption there. Yeah, I wonder what is happening in our country. If I remember very well, I was following the news one time. There was some issues where there are some issues where they say issues of drugs and the issues of drugs. There was some news where they said the drugs were missing and
Yes. And expired drugs.
And expired drugs. That issue has died natural death. No one has followed that issue until now. But the same ministry again, it had some corruption issues which were made on the news. We heard that, but we are still waiting for the response from them and corruption and the police, whatever they did there. And the same person now is now arrested, but he's still reporting for work. Now, how do they investigate this case and what is happening in our country? If the government says, the recent government, even the youth were protesting, saying they want the government to handle this issue of corruption and the other stuff. But
Right.
I don't know, we are talking, this man, this guy, the youth, is arrested now. He's arrested. He's not even on this. He's in jail. And the civil case, just the civil case, but the corruption case, 2-7 is pointed out. Is this thing, how can Mr. Chipenzi and others who can talk to us, who can talk for us, so that we end this once and for all?
Right. Okay, thank you so much. Mr. Chipenzi, you were just concluding on the issue of...
yes, so I was just saying that at least this time we have diverse platforms. Social media has come, and it's a wave that is unstoppable. Whether they bring the cyber crime and security bill or laws, I think social media is here to stay.
Right.
Perhaps even Jesus will find it.
Right.
With us. So we may even know that Jesus has come through social media. So these are the things that we are happy now, and we might be even happier as we move on, as technology unfolds. So that is the beauty of today. So they may pull you from DSTV, they may pull you from GoTV, they may even pull you out of Topstar. But the fact remains that you continue, as long as you are legally registered, you continue to channel out your programs to us. So these are things that maybe the media have not reflected upon. That this issue of hosting your enemy, like me carrying Muchima on my back, I don't know what to be doing on top of my head. So I have to be very, very careful carrying such enemies on my back. And this is exactly what is happening in the media now, where GoTV is carrying people with alternative views.
All right, thank you so much. But we are discussing the issue of butane.
Butane. Yes.
Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Very well, thank you. How are you too?
No, we are trying, sorry.
We are quite blessed, permanently blessed.
Yeah, this is Robert. I'm calling from Musa.
Yes, Mr. Robert.
I just want to contribute on butane.
Right.
It's so surprising. They are all wondering of what interest is like. They are trying to force it on people. People are saying no, but they really want it to go through. What is hidden in butane? It's like there's some information that the masses don't know. So in that butane, there are a lot of hidden agendas, and people are saying no, a number of people, but you find that even the demonstrations that they are doing to say no, this one has this and that, you would realize that those are paid up people. Zambians are saying no, because in fact in the first instance, this thing wasn't even like, people don't understand anything. People in our compound, the majority, who is a common man, they don't even understand what is butane. On the few, I'm sure those few, even when they are doing their demonstration, you see to say these people have gotten something from someone. So Zambians are saying no, but why insisting? And then, is it really the critical thing? Is really the constitution the problem? Challenges. We have a number of problems, bigger problems than that. So maybe even for the issue of constitution, it's the people that are in power that have a problem, not even the constitution itself. So sometimes we may have a better constitution, but if the people that are there are bad people, they are not doing anything. So sometimes If they're not going to sit outside there, let them check themselves first. People are saying no to butane. Thank you.
Thank you so much. All right.
Yes, indeed. I think he has summarized. Look, this is the same government that is saying that we cannot bring back the referendum on the Bill of Rights because you people rejected it. Okay?
So what's the difference with butane?
Now, butane has been rejected by the church, civil society, including the MPs. They are walking out of it, away from it. Government is still insisting, no, butane is still on the floor of the House. What is the devil in that in that bill? Because if we have, and you know that the Bill of Rights, they claim that it was supposed to benefit the ordinary citizens. Citizens. What is butane? Who is butane targeted to benefit? It's the politicians. And that's why they are pushing. The chief whip of the ruling party is poised to be part of cabinet and get more money as a cabinet officer. All right?
But at the moment, he's still part of cabinet.
No, it's not part of cabinet.
I mean, look, at the end of the day, if you look at
a GRZ vehicle.
No, but if you look at the emoluments of a chief whip is even actually more senior than a cabinet minister.
True, but he's
because
not...
a cabinet minister, even in parliament, reports to
the parliamentary chief whip.
Exactly.
But the issue here...
and a minister, I mean, a chief whip, at the same time can act as leader of business in the House in the absence of...
Yeah, but the issue now is that he doesn't sit in cabinet. So he's not a cabinet member. He's just the chief whip uko, like Batutkwa na even uko. So it's like also even the leader of the opposition, because he's also given a government vehicle. It's a recognized constitutional office. So they are not in cabinet.
Right.
But in this case, they want the chief whip to be in cabinet. Okay? A cadre to be in cabinet. We are saying no. We are seeing also a trend where butane is all about politicians and the power to move from parliament into the hands of the president. We are saying no. They want also, for example, you are talking of Article 52. Article 52 about nomination and the challenge of nominations. They have to repeal that. And they want to bring everything into a prescribed arrangement. Okay? Prescription means now the parliament has to come up with new laws through the act of parliament. And why do they want to? They want to run away from this drama where they need 2/3 majority. When it comes to acts of parliament, they have the majority to pass the law. One of those examples I can give, the NDF Act of 2019. If that NDF Act was an amendment to the Constitution, it wouldn't have passed because 2/3 would have been a problem. But they managed because they had the simple majority. Only about 80 who debated that issue and passed it. So that's what they want, everything to be in lower legislation where they can change at any time. They want even the composition of parliament to be in an act of parliament. So that tomorrow if they want to increase the number of constituents to 200, they can do it. Because they only need 80 people, and it will be okay. One example also I will give you is the example of when Zambia was declared a threatened state of emergency.
Right.
People who passed that resolution were only 8, others had walked out. So that is where the problem, where the advantage is for them. That's why butane is say we want it whether rains or sunshine. But the issue is that
one of the other important clauses is to do with the appointing authority, in this case the president, to hire and fire judges. He can go and change judges.
Of course.
Then if you reach at that stage, where now is your country going?
And they also want not only even judges, even chiefs. They want a law that will give the president the power to hire and fire
a chief.
Chiefs. All right? And you say this is a good thing. They want to give power to the president to annex any province without the approval of the National Assembly. Right now, what is provided for in the law, in the constitution, is that half of the electorate in that province must petition the president to divide the country. All right? To divide the province. But now they want to give a blank check to the president to divide a province. Is that a good law you are talking? Is a good law? No.
But you are leaving out the aspect that also you expect now, instead of a contraction of date passing through parliament and parliamentarians debate
they want
about
to continue now.
The executive can just go and...
This is what they are doing now. What they want is to legitimize that. They want to legitimize that which has been challenged in the courts of law. All right? They also want to legitimize the court ruling, or maybe to dismiss the court ruling through the constitutional amendment, which said that ministers who stayed in power during the 2016 elections, when they were not supposed to stay after the dissolution of parliament, should continue to stay, so that now they can argue that the law has changed. All right? The law has changed. Now we can stay in power. That law is now OTS, as they will call it. But the issue is...
But the law is never practiced in retrospect.
This is why we are saying no third term, because that's our understanding. But we have seen how some lawyers are arguing that regardless whether he was elected in 2015, when there was no law like this one, is still whatever. There are those arguments. So you never know, and this is why we wanted the Article 52 not to be removed, because Sub-Article 2, Sub-Article 4 gives us the power to challenge the nomination of an eligible chap from contesting election. Today, you have like in Lundazi, there is an issue of a member of parliament who is being challenged by a losing candidate for allegedly not having grade 12. 4 years down the road, you are still challenging a nomination issue.
And we've already reached 2021,
exactly.
And we are still fighting.
It's an academic thing, you know. So 4 years down the road, you are talking about a nomination, because that is a nomination issue. Had it been challenged at the nomination level, this man would have known whether he was eligible. He had grade 12. I was reading some article where he was asked, "Do you understand grade 12 academic?" He says, "I don't understand."
No, but what he said, was that for him, what he knew was that grade 12 certificate or its equivalent. Yes. So even if he had only 3, because for the MP, we don't have to mention his name, but you've already said Lundazi. He didn't have the 5 levels. Yes. But the truth of the matter is that he says, I've got a certificate in this,
something,
a certificate on
religion.
And religion. I've done a religion. So that's,
minister of,
I mean, they've summoned the Electoral Commission of Zambia to explain what its equivalent means.
The examination council, yes. The examination and also the qualification authority.
Yeah, so qualifications authority, yes. Rather, yes.
Those are the issues. Now, what we want in that Article 52 is that we should challenge these things before we get into election. Because we have seen now that at initial stage of challenging an election petition or an election of somebody, it's 90 days and we finish. So what we are saying therefore that...
All right, let's just push in. Maybe this should be our last caller. Then we can close. We can close the line.
Hello?
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 We are getting you loud and clear.
Oh, I wanted to contribute about Bill 10.
Right.
Bill 10, it does not stand for the people because it's more contributing to the political parties.
Correct.
So, I think the political parties, PF should focus on developing, because here in Chidilabombo, the laws are too bad. But they are busy focusing on the bill that does not support the people. What kind of a political party are they? So I think they should focus on developing. The laws are too bad here.
All right. Point taken. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you.
Good morning. Good morning.
Yes, and indeed, like I have said, Bill 10 has nothing...
Okay, Mr. Chipens, let me just announce that let's try to cut on the phone calls right now, and because we have a few minutes remaining, so we can concentrate on the discussion, then we'll be concluding the program on the other hand, on the other end. For now, all what you can do is now just sit there and listen to the conversation. You can go ahead.
Thank you so very much. So what we are saying is that Bill 10 collapsed a long time ago, maybe even before June 4.
But the executive are saying to the contrary.
Well, they are saying to the contrary because they think they have numbers. But you see, they are failing to add 1 plus 1. Every time they add 1 plus 1, it goes to 1. So they don't know what magic is being played. Instead of giving them 2, it gives them 1. And this is why, this is the first time this bill has been debated, withdrawn, brought back. If you remember in 2015, the current constitution we are talking about, they sat for 1 whole night to debate, and it was passed.
Yeah.
All right? If you remember also in 2010, the NCC draft constitution, it also brought on the floor of the House. It was debated the whole night, and it flopped the night. And that was the end. But why this bill has been brought in the what? Withdrawn. Brought deferred. What is the problem? Numbers cannot lie. Yesterday, they thought they had numbers. They checked around. Add 1 plus 1, it still comes to 1. So, no. Let's withdraw it. So, it's an issue of Article 79. That is where they have a problem now. All those issues of standing orders and blah, 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 they are just what we call in Tonga when we are cooking mujeni, tiger fish. We call mayaliho, things that we put down there so that,
it cooks very well.
Yes. That's all mayaliho in the bill. Otherwise, the bill collapsed a long time ago. These people have no numbers. 2/3 majority is not an easy number. They thought all the independents would support them. But the independents have said, no, we cannot support this bill that does not even benefit the individual persons, the citizens. It is only for politicians. And we want to commend those MPs. I think they have a heart for this country. We need such MPs. Because if it were not for those independents that have stood with the other people on the opposition to defeat this bill would have been passed into law a long time ago. You have seen even the Bamwine going up to Kaputa to start telling my chiefs that Bill 10 is good, when the chiefs don't even sit in parliament. How desperation can do. Because you can even go to the grave and start saying, no, my father who died, I'm in trouble, but the father will not hear you. The issue is that Bill 10 has been rejected. Bill 10 is being, demonized. So why this, even the chief priest of this Bill 10, given Ruvinda, the chief priest of this Bill 10, is that he must understand that even in Kabwata, the other day I was in Kabwata, one of the radio stations in Kabwata, and the people called to say, we don't want Bill 10, even in his own courtyard. So this is where, sometimes in the UNIP days, in Chikankata, when I was still in school, the MMD, when they were coming, they were saying, look, even where the candidate for UNIP is staying, when we said the hour, everyone, even including the wife, were saying the hour has come. Now, who will vote for this man? So this is where even Rubinda should realize, if his own people are saying we don't want Bill 10.
That reminds me.
Huh? Who is going to support him?
We traveled with one of the political leaders for campaigns in 2016 in the same Chikankata action. There's the lady was standing on another political party, so we passed there with another political party.
Yes.
The village where the same lady comes from, and the mother. So when we passed there, I was in the company I was covering, of course, as a reporter. We moved with 2 main people.
Yes.
So the camp I was with passed through the opposition's camp at the house where the mother to the candidate stays and everybody. And the whole village came by the roadside and to flash the symbol of another political party. Now I was thinking that they will be there, they are rushing to go and give support back. That here, this is the but they all came by the roadside.
That's the issue.
In fact, even my brother, my brother, I would, for him,
yes.
because for him I would openly say it.
Yes.
I would openly say it. Former Defense Minister Siamunene.
Yes, yes.
Siamunene was standing as member of parliament on the PF ticket.
Yes.
That one I would say.
Yes.
Because at least he can't take me anywhere.
Nowhere.
So Siamunene, there was a rally, and the other candidate was the one, you know, for the other side.
Yes, yes, yes.
The mother came to speak right there at the
other man's rally.
At the other man's rally. And the mother said, yes, he is my son.
Yeah.
But to be honest, my vote is for the other person. Let's not even go very far. I traveled with the president in Kaoma.
Yes.
I was with the president in Kaoma for the mayoral by-election.
Yes, the chairperson there.
The Mwine Mutondo Chief Mwine Mutondo, the representative, were there at the rally. We are at the rally there. That was in Mangango. We're in Mangango. At the rally, the woman, no, vote for this candidate, vote for this candidate, vote for this candidate. And the president sat, the president was there. So she said a whole lot of good things. No, because for development, should vote for the PF candidate. Then when she was concluding, then she just goes and says, Zambia! And then everybody went like, forward.
Wait, I think I saw that video somewhere.
Yeah, and I was few people was like, what has this woman just said? In shame, the woman just walked out. She just started walking. So she went to the president to greet, and the president just sat there. The president didn't want to waste time to greet. Then the foreign affairs minister, Joseph Malanje, went quickly on the stage to
damage.
But everybody was already in the mood of laughter. So I was like, this politics, you know, they had.
So that's exactly what is happening with butane. The issue is that government should realize that butane has been rejected. And we should not force butane on the throats of Zambians. And I've told people, if this butane was subjected to a referendum, I would have assured them that this butane will collapse within an hour, because people would have voted it overwhelmingly no, they don't want it. But because government wants to use the small number in parliament, 167 MPs, they think that they can manipulate
156.
167, because we have also MP, the 8 nominated, plus the speaker and so on and so forth. The two speakers, one has a vote, the other one doesn't have a vote. So you have all these. So they think that they can manipulate the 167. The issue is the other people. UPN, for example, has got 1/3 of members of parliament. 56 is 1/3 of the total number of member of parliament, member of the National Assembly. So all they need to make this 4 is just need one person to add, and it will be 57. Which means now the 2/3 has been eaten out, and the what falls off. So if UPND remains united at 56, all you need is Comrade Jamba, who spoke there, to be added to this group, and the bill falls off. So where are they going to get the numbers? Where are you going to get the numbers?
But the UPND Senanga MP, Mulolwa Mukumbuta, is on the side of the PF.
Of course. You have how many independents there? 4 or 5? Independents.
4 independents who are supporting.
Yes.
Or against the bill.
Yes. Actually, you have Nalolo, Mwembeshi, Nangoma, all right? They are all the other side, all right? So we have other people whom we cannot mention here. The other people that are also not supporting, okay? So we are assured that at least 57 MPs or 58 MPs don't support butane. So regardless of what they will do, Even if they bring Sasakua, wherever they will get him from in Ilunga, this bill is collapsing. This bill is collapsing. So they are just wasting our time. We have rejected it and we will reject it. And if they think that our energies will be exhausted, I want to assure them on this Camnet TV, we shall not get exhausted. Actually, our energies are renewed every morning to fight butane until it collapses.
Mr. Chipenzi, we must leave the studio now, and of course, but at least you've already eaten, so there's no need to go and trouble Muramat, make me breakfast. But knowing you, I'm sure you now want a bottle of Chiwantu. But otherwise, yesterday we also saw eminent persons, former diplomats, civil servants at the highest level, like Sketchley Sachka, who was the secretary to the cabinet. We had Leslie Mbula, who was secretary to the cabinet, at the same time as ambassador to South Africa and other countries. We had Teres Mpundu, the Lusaka Archbishop, and of course we've had people like, what are the other names? Zukas, Bob Stinga, eminent persons who have formed an organization called ORCIDA, and it's going to champion good governance and accountability in this country. In their own ways, they've said the system, governance system in this country has collapsed, and as the elderly, they've stepped in to ensure that they bring back the rule of law, accountability to national resources, and of course fight corruption. Those are the main areas that they are focusing on to ensure that Zambia gets back on track. So we've come to the end of our program for today, and of course our guest was Mr. Chipenzi MacDonald, who is the Executive Director for Gears. Constance, unless you have something
I'm from the Gwembe Valley.
Oh, thank you so much. Constance?
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Chipenzi, for making it clear to the Zambian citizens. And so, as we close, just a quick reminder that you shouldn't feel bad. Just like Muchima said, that we're being taken off DSTV. You can still catch us on Facebook, so don't feel bad. You can still find us even on YouTube. So this was the Rise and Thrive breakfast show right here on Camnet TV. In the studios we had Gears Initiative MacDonald Chipenzi, as we were discussing Minister of Health, Dr. Chitalu Chilufya, and Bill number 10. So from us, Camnet TV, Rise and Thrive breakfast show is a wrap. Bye-bye.
Good morning.
And I would love to say something.
Just thank you, Karan and Constance. This is the first time I've been at Camnet.
All right.
Okay.
So thank you for introducing me. And this maiden appearance. I've seen also that Karan is becoming maiden, and I hope he won't change his name from Karan to Camnet.
Okay, bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Not
Start saying things that are not supposed to be said here. You think you just